Hello, everyone. I'm Serena Fazan, and welcome to On the Record, where we share incredible stories from inspiring people. On this episode, we explore transforming trauma into strength, meeting a woman who ignited a movement to end domestic violence, starting with her own powerful story of survival. Please welcome Tiffiny Newton of Ignite Her to On the Record. Thank you so much, Tiffiny, for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. You know, I'm wearing the color purple for domestic violence awareness. I shared with you our shows are evergreen, but we know we're coming up in the month of October. Share your story and Ignite Her. How did that begin?
Well, I came from a 2-year-long domestic violence relationship, and in my shame and my guilt of even talking to my family about it or talking to my friends about it, just started piecemealing, talking to women about it, and realized there are more women dealing with this than anyone knows. They say it's 1 in 3 women deal with domestic violence, but I think it's more than that. I think those are the ones that are reported. So in just talking with women and, you know, the violence that I dealt with, the emotional, the mental, the punching in my chest, spinning on me, backing me into a corner, and ripping things out of my hands, throwing me to the ground. Like those types of things, people don't share because they're embarrassed. And it's time to be done with that. Why let the abuser continue that behavior when we can put a stop to it and tell people domestic violence or domestic abuse isn't just physical. It's way more than that. And it often starts way earlier than just a punch, a kick.
It elevates to that point. And I can't even, thank you so much for sharing your story, because you never know who you could be helping out there. Yeah. In our conversation, even, you know, just meeting you today, you seem like such a strong person. Clearly you are.
Thank you.
But I guess what I'm trying to say, this could happen to anybody, right?
It doesn't matter. Race, religion, color of your skin, financial, it doesn't matter. It can happen to everybody.
How did you find yourself, though, in the situation in the first place?
Well, I met him at a dog park, and so I thought he was a good guy, right?
Yeah.
People, animals,
right.
I mean, they go hand in hand, they're good people. I just ignored the red flags, and things were, you know, why are you talking to that person? That person is rude for interrupting us. Like, it just slowly, the isolation, slowly of, you know, why are you getting dressed for work in a fancier way than you get dressed for us going out on a date? Why are you getting ready? You know, are you having an affair with someone at work? Like, what's going on? Like the accusations, the humiliation disguised as humor, just the little tiny things to like chip away at your self-esteem and your self-worth. And you just, all of a sudden, you're trauma bonded into this tornado before you even realize it.
Did you ever imagine, though, anything like this could happen to you because of, you know, strength of family, your friends? Did you ever imagine it?
No, because I had never come across any of that ever. My family was strong. No one in my, you know, my lineage of any of that stuff had dealt with domestic violence or the strong manipulation and coercion tactics that my ex used. I've never seen anything like that. So it was the benefit of the doubt, right? That people are good, inherently good.
So how did you, was there a pivotal moment in your life, or was there a situation that catapulted you out of this?
It took me 5 times to leave.
Wow.
So there were fights, there were instances where I was, you know, if you change your behavior, I'll be better. It's nothing to do with my actions. Right. They were just going to do that anyway. But it took me, I left 4 separate times. I caught him cheating after the first time, and that still wasn't a wake-up call. It was technically we're not together. He kicked me out of the condo, but basically made sure that I didn't have a place to live. But because if I went to live at my condo, I would get harassed for that. Just the back and forth of everything. Yes. And then the last time was October 31st, 2018, where I won't get it graphic, but he demanded something of me and I said no. And he said, I'm going to find someone who will. And at that point, I was already strategically in my brain had arranged my to-go bag at a storage unit. So I had a strategy in place to leave. And I think that's so important, is having a safety plan. And I had already removed some of the stuff from the condo. So he didn't recognize that things were gone. And as soon as he said that, I said, "You're right, I'm out."
And you had, I've done many stories and series and specials on this. Yeah. It is very important for women and men. I mean, 1 in 9 men can also be, subjected to domestic violence.
Absolutely.
That it's so important to have that to-go bag, the to-go bag with some clothes, some, cash, some, the bare necessities.
Yeah.
And isn't it something, if we look at your story, October 31st, the very last day of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Halloween, of course, too.
Yep.
So you get out, and then talk more about Ignite Her. I love the name.
Thank you.
Talk about how that, propelled into action.
So I was at a entrepreneur brunch in downtown Tampa, and I walked past this gentleman, and I asked him what he did. You're networking. And he said that he helps businesses start philanthropic sides.
Oh.
And I said, we need to talk. So I scheduled this strategy session. When you get your mind hooked on something, and I had already been talking with people about my story and what I had gone through, and they were sharing their story with me. And at that point, it was, this is bigger than me. I need to, get the awareness out there and get people out of these situations if we can help. And we scheduled this strategy session, and I called up a friend of mine that I met at the gym. And I said, I really want to do this. I don't know the direction yet, but I want to help women. I want to share my story. I want to share other people's story and make this bigger. And she goes, I'm in.
Wow.
So, setting up emergency housing and doing all that kind of stuff, that takes a lot of money, a lot of time. I was thinking, how could we impact someone today through a class, through a talk, through something? How can we impact someone's life for the better, make them feel more confident
immediately
today?
Yes.
And that is where the self-defense side came in, because after that, think of it, if you're in the gym and you lift something really heavy, or if you accomplish some big goal in your life, you feel like Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That yes, I can do it. That empowerment feeling, that's what I wanted to have women feel. Like when they left our workshops, I wanted them to feel that power.
So you have, through Ignite Her, workshops, and we're going to meet someone actually that does these self-defense classes as well, which is fantastic. We're going to meet her a little bit later on in the show. So you have workshops. What else do you offer? And is there any cost to the women that need help? Or
at this point, there's no cost, because we're trying to get our name out there and really get in the community and help women. We're doing a yoga workshop to kind of calm the mind, and, with trauma and all that kind of stuff, you need to heal in different ways. The self-defense workshops with the ju-jitsu, and we've also done Krav Maga style, and education and support. So what is abuse? What is considered, if it's not physical, what are all the other things?
Because the signs that could lead to the physical, but there are many, many levels of abuse.
Yeah.
So you started Ignite Her not very long ago.
Correct, in 2023.
So have you seen, and as you mentioned too, Tiffany, so oftentimes it's very difficult for people to speak up. Have you found people have been speaking out since you started Ignite Her?
Through my networking, there are people that say to me, I would have never shared my own story if you hadn't shared yours. And that is like, and I just, sorry.
I know.
That just warms my heart to that is why we need to talk more about it, is because they aren't sharing their story. They're keeping it hidden. And those hidden stories, that hidden stress, the hidden trauma, that physically manifests itself. One of our board members went into seizures, blindness, paralyzation. It just manifests itself physically if you're hiding that stuff. So we need to share it. We need to get it out.
Absolutely. And that's why we so appreciate you here on the record. And we're going to meet 2 people who you've brought in and who are making a difference and sharing their stories. So stay with us, everybody. More right after this.